expensive drip, exotic cars when I took that loss.
What's going on, guys? It's your man, Ed Hayes, the wholesale coach here, back for another episode of the Wholesaling Mastermind Podcast, guys. And in this one, I'm super pumped. I got my man, Austin Rutherford, on the podcast, guys. This dude is a beast. If you don't know him, you're about to find out. He raises like private capital to be able to finance his real estate deals. So I really wanted to have him come on to the podcast to share a little bit of game with the community. Let us know, put us on to the game pretty much. Like, let us see kind of like the back end. How is he actually making this happen? So how is it going, my man, Austin? How's it going, bro?
What's up, brother? Man, I appreciate you having me on here today, bro. I'm really looking forward to adding some value, bro.
Push the button. Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button. You heard what she said.
Hey, man, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, man. Thanks for coming out. I really, really need that, man. It really, really means a lot, man. So for the audience who doesn't know you, maybe you could just, introduce yourself for the people who don't know who y'all already.
Absolutely. So Austin Rutherford, born and raised here in Columbus, Ohio, down here in the Midwest.
Hey. Shout out.
But yeah, I bought my first duplex when I was 19 years old. I just loved the idea of cash flow, residual income. And I figured out I had to make a lot of money to be able to keep buying rental properties. So then I got put on to flipping houses. In the past 5 years, we probably flipped about 200 houses. And this year we should do somewhere between 80 and 100 houses. So I've been in the game about 5 years flipping now. And we've grown it every year so far.
Man, okay. So you say you started off at 19, like that's super young, man. Like what caused you to want to get into real estate?
Yeah, so my first dream was to play in the NBA. That didn't work out. So
okay.
I went to like a JUCO to play 1 year after high school, and just kind of fell out of love with the game. So honestly, I was lost. You know what I mean? That was my life leading up to that. So I just started reading a lot of books, like self-development, self-improvement books. And I don't know if this is true or not, but what I read was that 90% of all people who file a tax return with $1 million or more on it had real estate in their portfolio. I was like, well, shit, that's how I'm going to get rich. Let's do it. Kind of dove into it, kept reading, and residual income kept coming up. So that was my first thing, get residual, and then flipping kind of came after that.
Okay. Well, man, it's always crazy how people kind of end up in this field. I was just having a conversation yesterday with a guy named Bobby from Florida who's out. He's like a short sale specialist, and he started off as like an agent or whatever, had no intentions on being, the short sale guy, but then he ends up doing that. So you like with the, thinking about having dreams of going to the NBA and whatnot, and then you end up getting into, Wait, what was it again? What did you end up getting into? You end up getting into the
rental properties and then flipping.
Right. You end up getting into rental properties, right? And now you're doing 40 flips, thinking about doing like 80 to 100 this year, bro. That's deep, man. That's deep.
Sure. Yeah,
that's one heck of a journey.
That's the cool thing about real estate, though. I mean, there's so many ways to make money in real estate. You know what I mean? You can flip, you can be a landlord, you can build new construction, you can develop land, you can be a realtor. Like, there's so many opportunities.
Right. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's also something that like kind of slows a lot of people down too, though.
Shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, you get too many options, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm really smart, and I can do this, and it gets real confusing for a lot of people. So I think the money is really in the niches, man. The money is really, really in the niches.
I agree with that for sure. Absolutely.
So how do you like the rental property game?
I love it. I got 30 of them right now. So not what I wish I had, but, it's some money for sure. But, I got into flipping to be able to buy more rental properties. But then we started making really good money flipping. And I honestly lost sight of the rental game. So this year we definitely have a very, we're definitely motivated in the rental side of things. So my goal is to get 60 more doors this year.
You said 60?
Yeah.
Whew, 60 more doors this year. God dang, man, that's one hell of a goal, man.
Sure.
I'm not gonna lie, man. You know, when I'm thinking about the numbers, I'm like, man, that's unfathomable. You know, like myself personally, you know, I haven't actually dove into the actual like buying, you know, actually buying, holding, or fixing, flipping myself or whatever. I've just literally only wholesale pretty much like since I've gotten into the game. So that's why I'm like super pumped to have you come on, bro, because like you're doing the types of things that, you know, I'm planning on doing real soon, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. You know, I'm thinking about moving from Chicago in June. So
Where
you know, I'm
to?
thinking about moving to, like right at this very moment is like Texas is probably like number one on the list.
Got you.
Then after that is probably like Nevada and then Georgia.
Are you going to stay wholesaling in Chicago or the new market, or what's the game plan?
Yeah, so you know, I still plan on wholesaling, like, you know, all across the nation, really, you know. But I do plan on trying to like set up kind of like a hub here in the city to where I can, you know, keep getting deals here. I got most of my connections and relationships here.
Yeah.
But when I do move to another state or city or whatever, you know, I want to make sure that early on I'm kind of actually diving into the game. That's part of the reason too why I'm leaving here, because it's not. I feel like I'm not getting enough bang for my buck here in Chicago.
I got you.
You know what I mean? The taxes are super high. You don't get a lot for what you're paying for. So I figure, you know, if I can buy something, I might as well get the most out of it, you know, the first take, you know?
For sure.
So yeah, man. So, but I'm curious though, bro, like, you know, I know that me and you, we spoke for a little bit or whatever, and you was telling me about how you finance these deals, like you get private funding for these deals. That's what I'm super like interested in as far as like what you're doing out there. So like, how does this process work, bro? Why don't you like kind of break that down just a little bit?
No, absolutely. You know, basically private money lending is somebody taking the position of a bank. So it's not a foreign, you know, subject, but it's foreign to people because they don't know that they can lend money on real estate. So when you break it down to as simple as it can be, it's very simple. But people struggle with it because they don't know it. And when I started, you know, so my first deal, so I bought the rental property, and then 2 years later, I bought my first flip. And then on that first flip, it was a $70,000 purchase and a $170,000 rehab budget. So I needed $240,000. I was 21 years old at the time. So at that point, I mean, I didn't have 240. I had nowhere even remotely close to that. You feel me?
Right.
So I had to go out and raise the money. You know what I mean? And at that point in my career, I was like, hey, I'm asking people to invest in me. I'm asking people to give me their, you know, entire life savings. And it was an act.
Right.
If you talk about posture, if you're down here asking from somebody, it's very hard for them to give it to you. But if you posture yourself where you're giving somebody an opportunity and you're not asking, it's a whole different type of conversation. So after I did 1 or 2 deals, it finally clicked to me. I realized how much money I was paying these people in interest payments. And it clicked to me that I was giving these people an opportunity of a lifetime. And I truly genuinely believe that if I don't tell people the opportunity of private money lending, I'm doing them a disservice. Because if I don't, they're not going to be able to retire as quick. They're not going to be able to double their retirement account. So you not sharing this opportunity is hurting people at the end of the day. So when you change that mindset, it's not even asking, presenting an opportunity to get money from people, it makes it so much easier.
Right. So that's real interesting. So then it's like you're coming to people and like pretty much like you're pitching them, but instead of it's like, hey, please give me money, it's like, hey, like you may be able to partake in my opportunity for you.
100%, bro.
Right. So
My
you kind of flip the script.
like, I'm honored that you gave me this opportunity. Like it's a whole different type of conversation. You know what I mean? But you got to know how to structure that conversation to make it look like that.
Right. That makes a lot of sense, though. That makes a lot of sense. So that's the game right there, though. Like get this private capital, though, and like kind of framing it as an opportunity for them to get some action. And it really real life is, because like you said, a lot of people really don't even know that these opportunities exist. Yep. I mean, you know, a lot of us probably have like brothers, sisters, parents, spouses, cousins, whoever, who got tons of cash and it's just sitting around, like they're barely getting any type of return from a bank, like 0.5%. It's like something crazy, you know? Yeah. And they can be getting like crazy returns working with people like yourself and investing into real estate.
Absolutely. And like a lot of people don't know they have the money to invest. Like most people think like, hey, you want to invest in real estate with me. They think they literally need $100,000 sitting in their bank account, which obviously
Right.
they have that, they can use that. But a lot of people don't have just 100 grand sitting in their personal bank account. You know what I mean? So you
Right.
got to know how to teach people how to access money that they may or may not know they have. So a lot of people don't know that
Mhm.
retirement accounts can be rolled over to self-directed IRAs and then lent to people like you and I to invest into real estate.
Right.
They don't know that you can put a home equity line of credit on your house and tap into, you know, $50, $100, $500,000, whatever it is, of borrowed money from the bank. You borrow the money from the bank at 5%. We pay you whatever,
Right.
12%. So you're making 6% interest roughly on money that's not even yours. So if you take 200 grand,
Right.
that can add 10, 15 grand to your bottom line at the end of the year. You know, you can tap into cash and value life insurance policies. You can tap into a lot of different ways to access money. So when you talk to these people, you have to teach them to go and think where they actually have access to money at. Then they can take that opportunity and lend to you. So, I mean, I just raised 600 grand
Okay.
a week from a home equity line of credit and the IRA because they had no idea, because I taught them what that does and how they can leverage other people's money and make money on top of it.
Right. Ah, man, that's deep right there, man. That's deep, man. So like, so that's kind of like your specialty then. It's like knowing how to help people get access to the money that they can use to invest in
For,
these real estate deals.
for sure. You know, that's, again, people don't have much money sitting in the bank account normally. So you have to,
Right.
you know, a buddy of mine said years ago, he's like, bro, you can meet somebody on Wednesday and by Friday, they're ready to give you all their money. So like, I don't know what it is, but like, you know, I know how to, and I don't even like saying convince, because I'm not convincing them. Like I'm getting them out of their own way to take an opportunity that can change their life. But you know, I know how to have those conversations. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's powerful, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I feel personally like that's some of the most valuable knowledge that you can have. And like you say, it's not like you're trying to sell them something or something
No,
like that.
no
You're
negative.
not even convincing them. It's like you're teaching them
Yeah,
about what they can do and giving them an opportunity to work with you to actually execute on that knowledge that you're giving them.
for sure.
So
Absolutely. You
yeah,
give an
I,
opportunity. I mean, that's what it is in the simplest form.
right. Yeah, I like that. I like that though, man. I like that. So, but I'm curious, like, okay, well, like, where do you actually find these people? Like, where are the hub for these private people? Is it just like family, friends, or is it like, you know, like, where do you actually find these people? What would you recommend that other people find these people?
No, phenomenal question. That's the big question. You know what I mean? All right, where do I find them? So, man, a lot of the people, majority of the money that I found is from meeting people at real estate meetups. So when I started out, I went to every RIA you could possibly imagine in and around my city and around the country. And I'll just go there and network and talk to people. You know, closed mouths don't get fed at the end of the day. The first deal that I got funded for 240 grand was the lady that I met in Chicago. And we both were new to real estate. I was like, hey, you know, what's going on? She's like, yeah, you know, I just got into real estate. You know, I'm trying to flip my first house. Da, 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 da. So I connected with her. 6 months later, I got my first deal. I needed 240 grand. I called her. I was like, hey, how's the business going? She's like, well, you know, I'm still looking for the right opportunity. Okay, cool. You know, I got this opportunity. You know, you want to invest, you want to make some money on the side. So just meeting people, because one, if they're at real estate meetups, they're already hip to the game. You know what I mean? It's not even
Right.
because they already know what it is. So networking and talking, another dude has lent me millions of dollars. We were at a real estate thing and he stood up, and it was when the TRID guidelines went in place a couple of years ago about like how many loans like an individual person can do before they're treated as like a company. And he stood up and he was like, well, if I'm loaning money to businesses, do I fall under these guidelines? And right there, I was like, he lends money to investors. And as soon as the meeting dropped, I was the first one over there, introduced myself, got his number, took him to one of my projects, and the rest was history. So you got to talk to people to get the opportunity. But outside of real estate meetups, like I'll go to dinner with my girl and she'll be mad because I want to sit at the bar and she wants to sit in the corner and have a nice little date night, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. We still do that.
Right.
But I want to be at the bar brushing elbows with people. You know what I mean? I want to be like, hey, man, what you got going on? What are you into? Oh, well, you know, I'm a investment manager, blah, blah, blah. How about yourself? And the famous line is, well, I'm a real estate developer and I use other people's money to fund my deals. And right there, if they have any interest at all, what do you mean you use other people's money? And then you're in the door. So it's
Right.
literally just talking to people, like going to the bars, meeting people there, joining a athletic club. You know, people with money are in athletic clubs. Go and work out at the athletic club. Just talk to as many people as possible. You know what I mean? One of my best friends, his uncle lends me money because he told his uncle about me at a family meetup. So it's just get as many people as possible.
Right. Okay. Right. So we got a multitude of ways then, but like those REI meetups, I have seen the value of those. It's like crazy valuable. I think that a lot of people kind of underestimate how beneficial like a real estate investor meeting can be. I try to tell people all the time, like, yo, like you gotta get up on it. I can't even lie. Like I don't go like enough myself.
Yep.
But I've literally seen one of my guys, for instance, like one of my guys, Glenn, out in Pennsylvania. Like I told him, like, bro, like if you want to get some buyers, go out to REI meetings, da. 100%. He went to one REI meeting. He met somebody there to introduce him to another person and introduce him to another person. And now he's like consistently doing deals with these people. And I think that he just finished like his first hotel flip himself.
Love it.
So it's like, damn, like one REI meeting can change your life a lot of times.
For real. But a lot of people don't go. Like, so if you're in the game, some people I hear say, well, you know, they just teach basic knowledge. You know, I won't get any value there. Which the teaching part of it, you might know everything, but go there to network, go there to meet people, go there to meet buyers, go there to meet sellers, go there to meet private money lenders. When you create these relationships, like they're priceless. So I couldn't agree with you more, bro. The REIAs are huge.
For real, man. I say that all the time. Like, you don't want to just be sitting in the corner, like just talking to one or two people. You know, a lot of people kind of have like that shyness bug inside of them, or you know, and they feel comfortable. Like, you know, they'll put themselves in a situation to feel comfortable by sitting in the corner talking to like the one person that they came with, and then like random people are coming up talking to them, right? So they'll feel comfortable. But I feel like if you're gonna go, get the attention of the masses. Like wear a big old like We Buy Houses t-shirt with like a Jersey name on the back. Like call me with your phone number as the number instead of like a number. You know what I mean? Like go hard. Be giving everybody there your business card. Shake hands. Let people know what you do. Really meet the market, because the market is usually there at those meetings. Like the heavy hitters a lot of times at least are there. Sometimes you're going to have tire kickers, of course. Yeah, but that is one of the best hubs.
Agree, bro. Closed mouths do not get fed, bro. Period.
I heard that at a casino one time when I was like, I was playing craps or something, and the dealer told me that. I was like, damn, she right. Like I had just missed that. I was like, I could have won like $300, but I didn't play it. She was like, scared money don't make money. I was like, damn. I never forget that, you know. But yeah, but I like that though. You know, like. Just in general, like the relationships though, whether it be going out to a REI meeting or it's family, friends, you know, going out to the bar and actually sitting at the bar and talking, rubbing shoulders with people, that makes a lot of sense though. In all reality, buyers are everywhere. Investors are everywhere. It can be your doctor even, or your nurse, or
every time I go to the doctor, bro. I went to the ortho yesterday. I pitched him again for the 5th time. He's tired of hearing about it.
I bet he is. But hey, you gotta shoot your shot. There's no harm in trying, right?
100%, bro. 100%.
And it's like, you know, you're not gonna hit any shots that you don't make. I mean, that you don't even attempt, right? So we gotta actually be shooting our shot out here. I tell people about what I call the 5 pillars of real estate, and it really works for any other business if you really think about it. But relationships is that first pillar. You know, it's like if you don't know anybody, like in Chicago, even though it's a huge city, it's like a real small like subsect of people who actually do this investing stuff. Yeah. And it's like if you don't know these people, if you don't know who like what's his name? I can't remember his first name, but like Castle, the dude Castle, I think it's Gary Castle from Castle Law out here in Chicago. Like if you don't know this dude, you probably not real. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta have those relationships because you need to know these people. That's the only way to really get deals. We can't just expect for someone that we've never talked to before to come to a table with $100,000 check. Like, oh yeah, here you go, Austin. Hey, take this $100,000. It doesn't make sense. 100%. So okay, I like that though, man. I like that. So I know that you were telling me like private money has obviously done a lot for you. I mean, so I know you said you got like 30 rentals right now. Is that the number?
Yep.
Yeah, that's deep, man. So I mean, so like, what's the portfolio really looking like? You said you got like 30 rentals. You're doing like, you said like 80 to 100 flips this year.
Yeah.
Man, you say you're not playing out there. So is this all in Ohio, or
Yes.
like are you doing deals kind of
So this is all
around?
right now. So we do a little bit of everything. Shiny object syndrome, but we mastered our craft in one area and then expanded to another area and then expanded to another area. So when I started out flipping. Every single thing we did was a flip, and we're doing, $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 renovation budgets, which in here in Columbus are like massive rehabs. So
Right.
I'm not scared of any type of rehab at this point. But then it got to a point where I had so many deals going, like it takes a lot of money to even when you raise private money, like you still have money out of pocket on top of that. And I was like, man, like if this market moves, like I could really be stuck. So we still rehab. Now we wholesale. We started doing new construction, and we're buying apartment buildings and rental properties and commercial buildings. And I started lending money as well. So we're kind of touched on every aspect of the real estate game right now. But we basically, I got 3 people on the acquisition side. So we drive all the leads, and then we just determine what the best exit strategy is. Does it make sense as a rental? Are we going to build new construction? Are we going to renovate it? Are we going to wholesale it? Are we going to sell it to somebody and then lend them the money to renovate it? So if you're on the front end of it, you can cherry pick the best deals.
Right. Okay. So you got like a full-fledged organization going on over there. And it's really like you've got multiple exit strategies and you kind of determine which deal goes in which box pretty much.
Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah, I like that, man. I like that. I'm not gonna lie. I really, really like that. I was checking out your YouTube videos, like since we first talked to each other until this chat or whatever, man. It's like super inspirational. I'm not even gonna lie. I saw this one video, I think it was like buying up the block, I think it was called or something like that. And you were like, man, that's a good video, man. I'm like, yo, how does this dude got so few subscribers? Look, if y'all listening to this or watching this podcast, I put this on everything I love. Y'all have to go subscribe to this man's YouTube channel. I really, really mean that. Like, I think it's genuinely going to be like a super hot channel. Like as he starts to get more subscribers and stuff. He's already pumping out the content, so y'all gotta get up on it, man. I was checking out the videos myself, though. Back to what I was trying to say, but man, it was like he was like, "Yeah, man, I own that new build right there. That lot is mine right there. Yeah, that one next door, that's mine too, right?" I'm like, dude, he say he out here killing it, yo, like that's for real.
That neighborhood, bro. Like I've done a project on every street, usually multiple projects, so. I mean, you gotta, when you got something hot, dive in on it, bro. We do a lot of like cold calling and driving for dollars, and that's where a lot of those opportunities come from.
Yeah, cold calling and driving for dollars. The tried and true strategies, man. It's like, it's crazy. No matter who I'm talking to, no matter how many deals they're doing, like crazy volume, crazy, intense businesses, everybody always comes back to cold calling and driving for dollars. Like everybody's doing the same things, man. It's like we can't make this stuff up. I realize, bro. It's like it's really just about actually taking the action on it and getting enough volume as well. If you only call on like 10, 15 people, you're not gonna get nothing from that.
Hell no.
Right. So speaking of that, real quick, because like this is a question that I need to start asking more people about because hold on. I think I may have lost you there. Hold on. Let me get back to the screen. I flicked off the screen on accident. My bad. But, I feel like I need to ask more people this question, though. Like, what do you think is an adequate amount of volume throughout the month as far as, like, leads go? So I know, like, for myself personally, like, we're typically pulling, like, between 10 to 15,000 leads per month. And then, like, we'll get them skip trace. We'll scrub them against the DNC and stuff like that. So we'll still end up with, between like 7,000, 7,000 up to 10,000 leads, something like that per month. And we get multiple deals from that. Yeah. But I'm curious, like, what do you think, or like, what have you seen to be like an optimal amount of leads to actually get deals consistently?
For sure. So to be real with you, as far as the amount of like marketing leads, I don't even know that number. So we never like dead a list. You know what I mean? Like we've mailed the same list 10 times. So like deals are still coming from those types of lists. As far as like how we count leads is new untouched every day. So how many brand new leads come into our Podio every single day? And right now it's like 40 to 80 brand new untouched leads every single day. So like January, I think we had 1,100 new untouched leads.
Okay.
February, I haven't checked February, but that's how we count it, is new untouched. So, if it takes you 100 leads to get one deal, how do you, get 100 leads as quickly as possible? If it takes you one lead a day, it's 100 days. If you get 100 leads in one day, it's one day. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's kind of how we track our marketing.
Okay. I like that though. I like that. So you say like new untouched leads. So like we have not talked to this person yet. We need fresh leads every single day coming in.
Yeah. And we
I like that.
Follow-ups and everything, but like our driver is the new untouched.
Okay. I like that though. And are you like utilizing like house hunters, I'm assuming? Like you got people out there like doing the driving for dollars for you?
Yeah, so we don't like drive for dollars like every day, but like we'll get a deal in a new neighborhood, and as they're pulling comps, like something just triggers, like okay, there's some rundown houses here, they're selling for a decent amount of money, and then we'll send a guy out to do driving for dollars in that neighborhood. So it's not like an every thing, we might drive one neighborhood every quarter, every 3, 4, 5 months.
Gotcha.
But like those are the very detailed leads because nobody else is doing that work. Everybody can buy a list from ListSource, but do people, want to go drive for dollars? Do people want to build their own, foreclosure and probate list in-house from the county website? Those are the types of leads that are golden because nobody wants to do the work.
Yep. I say that all the time too. Like sometimes like the harder it is to come across that lead, the more valuable it is because the less competition that it is on that lead. So probate leads and like the code violation list or like the water shut off list, those are like the golden lists that a lot of people seem like they can't come across in certain areas. But when you get them, no one else is calling these people because no one wants to put in that work. Everybody wants that quick shot. And don't get me wrong, like that can work, and you're getting your leads from like a prop stream, RAI Pro, something like that or whatever. You can pull leads, but I definitely agree with you when you say that, the kind of like the leads that take more work definitely are more valuable, it seems like to me.
100% for sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a huge advocate of driving for dollars. Like I tell people all the time, like, look, go hire on some house hunters. Like I'll put out a Craigslist ad for like $7 on Craigslist. And I'll have the whole city out there looking for driving for dollars leads for us like every day. And we'll repost that like once a week and get brand new people coming in to go out and go hunt for driving for dollars leads for us.
Love it.
Yeah, man.
Who wants to do the work?
Exactly. And we're only one person, right? But if we hire in the people from Craigslist or whatever, now we just multiplied ourselves by like 75. We got like 75 house hunters out at one time out looking for houses. Now, all of them aren't going to be great. Most of them are going to be kind of crappy, to be honest. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But, it adds up over time, for sure.
Absolutely, bro. You got to sort through the crappy ones to get to the good ones.
Exactly. So real quick, like speaking of like lead sources and stuff, though, like do you use any like online methods?
Yeah. So we do like social media, like Facebook ads and stuff. So we do those, and then we do like Google AdWords. So like pay-per-click. Those are the onlines. We do direct mail, cold calling, RVM, and SMS on top of that. But those are the online sources.
Okay. That's pretty decent, man. It's this company called BotFox that I heard of recently, and like they've got this. They've got some strategy or whatever where they go into like Facebook groups and like, hey, I'm a flipper in the area. Is anyone looking to sell a house? And then like people will start responding back. It's like crazy volume on leads coming in with just that one strategy. So I'm just kind of putting you on to some games. So yeah, check it out, But like they kind of automated though, like they use chat bots as well. So like when the person says like, yes, I have a home, then it's like your chat bot automatically starts talking to them. And then by the time you come back to your computer, you got fresh lead right there. You've already asked them 8 questions. So it's kind of nice.
Check that out for sure.
Yeah, check it. I mean, but to be honest, like you can probably do it all by yourself, to be honest. It could probably get implemented without spending, the whole BotFox. They charge like a good amount of money to set that stuff up, but just letting you know. But yeah, though, man, though, bro, you know, like I'm real interested in, you know, starting to get into some actual like fix and flips myself. You know, to be honest, like I'm looking to get like some type of house that I can house hack, as
Yep.
well as like, you know, some type of, I don't know, like I got some advice from a guy that came on named Colin Hart, and he was kind of advising me that I should start slower. But I want like your opinion, because I was thinking about doing like maybe like a little duplex, something like that I can house hack, but then simultaneously maybe start off with like a 25 unit apartment building. That's been like my thought process since I first started. Because I've been, you know, I listened to Grant Cardone when I first started off. He always talks about having a lot of doors and stuff like that. I mean, but I'm curious, like, what do you think? Like, what do you think is like the wisest strategy for an investor looking to actually purchase their first place? Go big with it, or like just do something small? What do you think?
I mean, so as far as like house hacking, you know, getting a duplex or a 3 or 4 unit that you can live in and have the, you know, the other people pay your mortgage and everything. I think that's phenomenal. I think that's a tremendous way of getting started by far.
Yeah.
So 100% definitely recommend to everybody to try and get to some sort of house hack. Even if you get a single family and just rent the other 2 bedrooms to your homies, you can still cover your mortgage. So definitely on the house hacking. And as far as like, you know, the opportunity, you know, my first flip was $170,000 rehab. I was 21 years old. Like that's not normally the ideal first flip.
Right.
Look for, you know, $10,000-$20,000 cosmetic rehab. And that's what I was looking for. But this opportunity came across and I took it. You know what I mean? So, you know, if the first opportunity is a duplex or an 80 unit apartment building, you know, take the opportunity. You feel me? We talked about networking. Like, okay, if I get a 200 unit apartment building on my desk today, like I wouldn't know where to start. Let's just call a spade. Like I would have no clue. But I can pull out my phone and call 5 people that own 2,000 doors a piece, and they would definitely know. You know what I mean? So take the opportunity that's in front of you, but leading up to them, make sure I call it dig your well before you're thirsty. Make sure you create those relationships before you need them. You know what I mean?
Okay. I like that though. I like that. I think that's some really good advice, man. You know, I'm going to tell you, like I said, like before we started, I was like, look, man, I got questions for myself. Like, but I'm sure it's applicable to a lot of people out there. You know, we got tons of agents, investors, wholesalers out there who are looking to get in themselves as well. And I think that makes a lot of sense though. Like you don't want to pass up on an opportunity, whether it be like a house hack situation or that 25 unit, 80 unit, whatever it is. The opportunity is there. It's like that's your opportunity to act.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
I passed on a lot of things because I was nervous, and I regret it every single day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, find a way to figure it out.
I'm glad I asked you that question. I really, really mean that. That gives me a lot of perspective, though. I really, really like that, for real, because I want to make sure that I'm making a good decision. And I feel like, hey, you know, might as well learn from somebody like yourself. You got 30 rentals. I'm trying to get like you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I really mean that, you know, like over time, for real, man. So, you know, that's some good advice, man. Like, I think that, you know, a lot of people probably want to kind of get out here. So speaking of that though, bro, like what would you say, just for anybody that's just kind of looking into getting into the game, whether they're an agent, investor, wholesaler, whatever, right? What would you say is like your best advice to them? I like to ask that question to everybody that comes on here, just to, you know what I'm saying, give everybody like that opportunity to ask that.
No, absolutely, man. Great question. I get the question all the time as well. You know, how do I start? What do I do? And it's gonna sound cliche, but you just gotta do the work. You know what I mean? Like anything you want to know is on YouTube or Google. You know, if you want to figure out how to wholesale a house, Google it. If you want to figure out how to assign a house, Google it. If you want to figure out how to estimate repairs, Google it. It's on my YouTube channel. You know what I mean? So everything you want to know is out there. So first you got to educate yourself, which is obvious. You got to do the education. But then once you have the education, you actually got to implement it. You know what I mean? That's the quickest way to learn something is doing it. You know, you don't even have to buy the house and risk losing the money, but just going out or getting on the phone with the seller. And I was sweating bullets when my first seller called me, bro. I had 2 cell phones. I got another cell phone just to take seller calls. Every time it would ring, I would get nervous. But now I can talk to a seller, you know, with my eyes closed because I've done the work. I can evaluate a rehab budget from pictures. I don't even have to walk a property anymore because I've walked thousands of properties. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just starting is the key. Most people in fear, they never get past it. They never get started. So learn it and then implement it. You gotta act, you gotta do.
Man, I agree, bro. That's great advice right there, man. I hope y'all listening and taking notes out here. Austin's dropping gems out here, man. Look, for real though, man. That's 1,000,000% true right there, because like you say, like you're gonna learn way more by actually taking those actions than sitting at home reading the books about it or just watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. Like, yeah, you don't want to just go out here and just be completely winging it. Like he said, like get that knowledge first, but you have to implement it. And this is a business at the end of the day. So it's like, if you're not going to kick your ass and make sure that you get up and do what you need to do, no one gives a shit whether you win or lose. No one really cares. Yeah. It's like either you want your goals and you're going to go hard for them, or you're going to sit back and complain, make excuses, talk about why you didn't get it, like most people do. Bro, so it really just boils down to doing it.
For real, bro. All these excuses you hear, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have this, I don't have that. Like, every single one of those is complete bullshit. They're excuses, every single one of them. You make time for bro. I was valeting 70 hours a week. I was going to school full time, taking 15 credit hours. I was trying to start real estate on the side, and I was showing people houses as a realtor for 16 months straight before I ever made a penny. Like, you got to work. Like, it's that simple. Like, there's no shortcut to success.
Right. There isn't, man. Like, I coach people too. I coach people around the nation. I feel like I was just having a conversation with one of my clients recently. I was telling them, like, look, man, there's no shortcuts, bro. Like, I know you don't want to, like, you feel like, creating your presence online and offline may not be smart, or you feel like, oh, I can always get a buyer, I'm like, bro, no, don't work like that. Like, you gotta do it right. If you're trying to take shortcuts, you're just gonna screw yourself. Every time in life that I've ever tried to play the short game, I've always lost. It wasn't until, I'm telling you, there's magic in it, man. I'm telling you, like, it wasn't until I decided, like, look, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm not about to die. That's not the plan, at least. So why am I rushing that hard? Why am I acting like if I don't do this within, X amount of time, I'm going to die or something? Like, let's be realistic with it. Let's play the long game. However long it takes, as long as I don't quit, I'm going to get there. I feel like that's what people need to realize. You either win or you quit in life. There's no real middle ground there. If you can make excuses, but that's just another form of quitting in all reality.
100%. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's always going to happen.
Exactly.
Does it happen in the first week, or does it happen 2 years later? And that time in between is where people give up, people fail, and they give up on themselves, give up on their dreams.
Yeah, that's facts, man. That's facts. Even when I started this YouTube journey, I gave myself 2 years. I was like, look, well, I'm going to go ahead and start this up. And I figured, like, within 2 years, it'll probably be decent. That's what, like, I'm starting off playing a long game. People be thinking that, I'm going to start up a YouTube channel and and then, next month I'm going to be rich and famous. Like, what the hell? Like, they're not ready. They're not ready for the long game. It just sounds good in theory. But when it comes down to doing that work, like facing that rejection constantly and, having to hear no and not knowing all the answers and having to be vulnerable. That's what people don't want to do. They want to feel comfortable all the time. Success requires vulnerability. I think that's huge.
100%.
Real. Yeah. So, man, like, I think that's major right there. But I just want to go back real quick, because you mentioned this deal a couple times, that the one that it was like the purchase price was 70 and then it was like 170 in rehab.
Yep.
What did you end up making off that deal, bro? Like, I'm doing the numbers. Like, okay, so like, what was the spread on this? Like, what made you jump on this particular deal?
Yeah, so we was into it for 240, and I think we sold it for 380. So. Yeah, well, after paying everybody, paying interest, realtors, everything, my net profit was $103,000. So that was the first flip I ever did, and that catapulted everything else. So, but we talked about taking the opportunity. I could have wholesaled that deal for $20,000. I had my buddy, you know what I mean. But like I knew what it was, and I trusted myself. You know what I mean. So I took the opportunity. I made $100,000, and literally I continued working 70 hours a week as a valet even after I sold that deal. I continued going to school, and I continued my real estate journey. And then the next house I sold, flipped. I made $40,000, and then I quit everything. Told my mom I was dropping out of college. And that was all she wrote.
Damn.
But it goes back to doing the work, bro. Like most people will take that 100 racks, quit everything they do, go buy a nice watch, maybe a new car, go on vacation. I promise you, when I tell you, I did not even buy a pair of shoes. I didn't. I drove a busted ass Toyota Camry, Toyota Corolla, making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year before I ever bought a new car. Like there's no
man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Because it's not about having all the flashy stuff or looking a certain way. It's really about like just doing the work, man. Right. It's like you got to fall in love with the work. That's why, like, you know, I try not to like be all fancy and fly and like showing off a lot in my videos and stuff like that, because people just get the wrong indication about that stuff. They'll start falling in love with the stuff that you got, the chains, the watches, the cars, the clothes, all of that stuff, but they're not falling in love with the work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the only way that you get this stuff, is that you got to fall in love with the work. And when that happens, it's like you can have all the things that you want as long as you fall in love with the work that it takes to get there.
Absolutely. 100%, bro.
But man, though, that's crazy numbers though, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's still like blowing my mind. Like, yo, like first deal, 21 years old, you net $100,000 on your first deal.
It was crazy, bro.
Bro, that's nuts, man.
The check I got from closing was $185,000. My net was only $100,000. But holding that check as a kid, I was like, bro, this is game over. Like, it's possible. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. Like everything's possible now. I can't lose. I'm in the game, baby. For real though, man. That's major, man. I know that had to have like a huge impact just in general on your psyche, especially at that age. I mean, like technically 21, you still a kid almost. You know what I'm saying? Like mentally, at least. It's like our brain is not even done developing for like another 4-5 years after that. So, like, man, that's gotta have been major for you.
Absolutely.
But like, I just want to go back, like, because like people need to realize that Austin has said it a bunch of different times already, and it was his best advice for people that's trying to get in: do the work. If you want to be out here like Austin, and you want to be doing $100,000 flips, then reach out to the people that can finance it. Just do the work. You may be vulnerable. You may not know all the answers, but reach out, ask for a leg up, ask for somebody to help you. Maybe real quick, speaking of that, like you said that, like, are you helping people right now, like build this out, like coaching, courses, anything like that or whatever? Speaking of that.
Yeah, so I just started about a couple months ago, the consulting education side of the business. So we got courses, private money courses, one-on-one coaching, 2-day masterminds where you can fly into my office for 2 days and we go through everything top to bottom. So that's like entirely new business model that I'm trying to blow up right now. And you was just talking about do the work. I was about to say this story. Last night, I was here till 8 p.m. just grinding, creating new products, all that stuff. And my guy came in. Acquisitions guy, he was the last one here, and he was like, man, like I feel like this happens a lot. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, everyone leaves and you're the last one here. And I was like, I don't say this sarcastically, but if you do the math, you'll find out why I'm the last one here. You got to do the work. Like there's no shortcut to it. I make the most money in this office because I do the most fucking work. It's that simple.
Right. It makes sense.
But yeah, I was there late because I was building the education side of the business.
Okay, the right way, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, I may end up having to sign up. I'm gonna be 100,000,000% honest with you, man. I may need some of your services. Absolutely. I really mean it. I was just telling my lady that the other day. I was like, look, man, I got this dude Austin coming on. We may have to hire him for real.
Absolutely.
I'm dead serious, bro. So, but for real though, like, so like if people wanted to be able to, you know, partake in your courses, any type of knowledge or just working with you personally or whatever, how could they go about doing that? Yeah,
absolutely. So I'm on Instagram all the time. So Instagram is one of the best ways. It's Austin Rutherford Official is my Instagram. Facebook is just Austin Rutherford. YouTube is Austin Rutherford. And I'm building my website right now. So it's not up yet, but it's coming soon.
Okay, right. Coming soon. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned for the website. But so then they should reach out to you, get into the DMs, shoot you a little message, something like that. Like, yo, Austin, trying to get that knowledge, bro. What's good? Something around those lines.
Yep, just hit my DMs. Like literally, I'm on there every day. So hit me up. Let me know, and we'll definitely get you plugged in where you need to be.
Bang, 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 just like that. Okay. Well, I'm gonna make sure as well, like that. I'll stuff the links to all of Austin's stuff. Like if y'all trying to get this education, if y'all trying to get into the game, start doing your own flips maybe. Like Austin said, he came across this. He could have made 20 bands on his very first deal. He decided to bet on him.
Yep.
And get 100 bands on that one deal and change his whole life. So if y'all trying to get that type of knowledge, understand how to do these types of processes, make sure that y'all check out the links in the description of the video or podcast, wherever y'all listening to this at. I just want to make sure that I plug that inside of here or whatever, because like I said, like I'm probably going to be trying to utilize you myself, bro. I really mean that too. Like, I'm not just saying that for the camera. Like I'm dead serious. So for real, man. Like, I think that like, man, you got like such a like cool, like laid back personality, man. I think a lot of people is like really, really going to connect with you just in general, And, like, I get the genuineness from your vibe, bro. Like, I can just tell like you a super genuine person, man, for real.
I appreciate it, I'm just trying to get as much value back out into this world as possible, bro. I'm a big believer in the power of thinking big, power of manifestation. The more you give, the more you get. All that stuff. Your mindset's massive. We didn't even touch on mindset. That could be a whole nother podcast, bro.
For real. For real. That's the name of the game, man. Like, you got to be confident out here. I just had Aaron Bevins on a couple days ago. I just released that podcast, actually, like a couple days ago or whatever.
Yep.
Man, it's Aaron Bevins. He's actually the one who connected us and whatnot. So,
absolutely.
But, I asked him a question. Actually, I want to ask you this real quick, since we kind of, glanced on like mindset for a second, but I was asking him because Aaron is like a super confident guy, like what I'm saying, like this dude got the mojo, so like I was asking him like what role, and I want to ask you the same question essentially, like what role do you think confidence plays in like building out these business? Like how important is that, or like just break that down? Like what do you think about that?
Everything. It's that simple. Like if you aren't confident in yourself, nobody else is going to be. Like we just had a conversation about raising private money and being confident in how you describe the opportunity to somebody. If you're not confident in the opportunity, nobody's going to take you up on that. Confidence is massive, bro. And I didn't realize that at the beginning. You know what I mean? When I grew up, I was the kid that would stand in the corner of the room and not say nothing to nobody. I was the kid who would go to, homecoming and prom and stand against the bleachers because I was scared to dance because, I was scared of what people would think about me. I was the kid who was gorgeous woman walk by and not say a word because I didn't want to, stutter over my own words. Like I did my first ever Facebook Live about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. First time ever putting my face on camera. And I sat in front of my phone for over an hour without clicking the play button. An hour. I stared at the screen and didn't click play. But since then, I've realized what confidence can do to yourself and your business, bro, is absolutely game changing. Absolutely. Like people walk around like say like, I'm confident. And yeah, because I'm confident in myself. I know if you put me up against anybody, I'll outwork anybody, period. But confidence is massive for sure.
Yeah, man, for real. I truly agree too, man. Like I think that like when you got that confidence, like it kind of transforms something inside of not just you, but the person who's listening to you as well. Like they can feel that confidence, and it's like that makes people want to do things.
Absolutely.
I feel like especially when you're a leader, it's like you have no other choice. If you're not confident, your whole business is almost guaranteed going to crumble. It's not going to make it if you aren't confident in the vision. And like other people aren't going to be confident in you if you're not confident in yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And then the next question is, all right, how do you build confidence? You build confidence by putting in the work so you know that you're doing the right thing. Like that, we'll tie back to it like 10 times during this. You have work, but you don't have to do the work forever. Don't get me wrong. You can do the work, put the systems and processes in place, and then hire out the work. But you have to do the work at the beginning to create the systems and processes.
Facts, man. Facts. Like you gotta be willing to play the long game at least once to set up the stuff, set up the processes and procedures. So then like, even if you fire yourself from a certain job, you could fill someone in all the gaps. But you gotta be willing to do that work. And yeah, it's sometimes when you setting up the business and things like that, you just getting started, it's gonna suck. That's kind of a part of it. If it didn't suck, everyone would be doing it, and it would be so easy, and it wouldn't even be valuable. If everyone was doing it, we wouldn't make as much money as we do to do these deals.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's got to be some type of difficulty there, you know? So, but I think that was major, though, how you said it's like the only way to really build up the confidence is to do it. Yep. Because that's how you get the know-how. That's how you get the lingo, the knowledge. That's how you get everything. And it's like you really get it fully once you actually put yourself into the matrix. You know what I'm saying? Can't figure out everything sitting on the sidelines like, man, you know, it'd be nice to shoot balls one day, but you're never going to actually score anything if you're only sitting on the sidelines thinking about it.
$1,000,000%, bro. You know,
yeah.
That's 100% of the shots you don't take.
Right. You know, I used to be terrified too, bro. Like, before I actually started my YouTube channel, oh my God, I was terrified of like actually making video. I was like, oh God, I'm gonna be on camera, I'm gonna look ugly, I'm gonna be sweating. I'm gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, we're our biggest critics. You know, and I work with people, when I'm working with my coaching clients, I feel like most of this stuff is really mental. If I'm working with people that's already super confident and stuff like that, I'm like, look, you got this. This is going to be so easy for you. It's not even funny. You just got to do the work. As long as you're willing to do the work, you got the confidence, you're going to win. And I can call them. I can pick them just like that. Like, I know who's going to get the deals immediately as soon as they come on. And then other people, I know that, like, it's going to take us kind of going through some mental stuff for them to actually be able to get there. Some people just count themselves out before they even get started. And it like breaks my heart to see that, man, for real.
That's how we're raised, bro. Like that's where the world instills in us that we can't do anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to break out. I get a lot of confidence from reading. You know what I mean? I get a lot of education. It opens up my mind a lot from reading books. So that's another great way you can do it. But you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? Then when you read, see that it's possible. When you see you or you see me doing these things, you're like, all right, cool, I can do this too. And that helps your confidence as well.
Yeah. So speaking of that real quick, since you mentioned books, I got to ask you, bro, like go ahead and drop a book gem on them. Like, what's a book that you recommend the audience check out? For
sure. So the book I read when I was 18, changed my life forever. Was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Phenomenal book. And then I wrote a book a few months ago. It's called From Ballet to Millionaire. So definitely check that one out too.
Wait, what was it called again? Say it again.
It's From Ballet to Millionaire. And it's the 10 secrets they don't tell you to become rich.
Okay, man. Look, go get my man Austin's book, yo. Like, I put that on. Like, do you got that on Audible? Is it like, do you got the Audible version?
It's on Amazon. I got to get the Audible, but it's on Amazon.
Okay,
I'll drop the link to you though.
Okay, yeah, bro, do that. I really, really mean that, man. I'm getting mine. I really mean that, bro. Like, as soon as we hop off of here, shoot me that link, bro. I need that, for real. I'm dead serious. Now, I'm going to shoot it to you, bro. I'm trying to get that autograph. Well, I'm going to shoot it to you first, and then you shoot it back to me. Like, for real, man. But though, man, look, I'm not going to lie, though, bro, man. Like, I really enjoyed this conversation, man. Like, you know, it's nice and natural. You know, we like to keep these things light here on the Wholesaling Mastermind Podcast, just chit chat with heavy hitters like yourself out here doing deals, bro. Like, I really, really mean it, man. I think a lot of people are going to gain some value from this, for real. And I really want you all, if y'all listening to this or watching this, however y'all consuming this content, I really want y'all to connect with my man's Austin. And I'm asking y'all a personal favor. Look, go subscribe to this man's YouTube channel immediately. Like, we got to give him an incentive to pump out more fire content because the stuff he's got on there right now is already good to go. But I want to see more of that fire content coming out from Ohio. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? For real. So, but man, though, bro, like, do you got any other, I want to make sure, like, you know, I give you like an opportunity, you know, to kind of fill in anything. If we missed anything or something like that, like, is it anything else you want to kind of let the audience know before we get up out of here?
I mean, man, we bounced around a lot, but I think we dropped a lot of value on it for sure. You know, I think the takeaway is knowing mindset and knowing that value that you can give to people. Even if you're you know, offering somebody to invest in a deal, if you're wholesaling a deal, keep in mind you're selling them a property they're going to make money on. So don't let them bully you around. Like, you're even giving them an opportunity when you're negotiating with the seller. The ease of a transaction is an opportunity for a seller. So if you have the right mindset and you know the value that you can bring to the marketplace, it's game over at that point.
Boom. Straight like that, man. That's facts, man. So look, I don't even want to add on to it because I want to just leave it right there. Like, you hit it home right there. You nailed it in right there, bro, for real. That was great, man. Hey, Austin, I appreciate you coming on to the podcast, bro. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. You know, we don't want to keep y'all too long. I know people start phasing out, zoning out, start doing other stuff after a certain period of time. So we're going to wrap this up. But guys, look, Austin, you know, if you ever down to come back on to the podcast, bro, I swear I would love to have you come back on here. If you ever end up starting that up a podcast, look, have me on as a guest.
I'm gonna have you on,
you know
bro.
what I'm saying? I really mean that, man, for real. Let me come bless the podcast for you one time, you know? For real. So
I love the energy you bring too, brother. You know, energy is a big thing in this world too. You got to surround yourself with energy. You can tell you got that uppity spirit, bro. So keep bringing the heat.
Yeah, man. hey, it's my pleasure, brother. For real, man. I appreciate that, man. For real, man. We try to keep it lively here, man. I'm not gonna lie. I want to make sure that, you know, if people listening to this, that they getting into the zone, you know. So
absolutely.
But yeah, though, bro, I would love to have you back onto the podcast sometime soon. I really, really mean it when I say it, man. We gotta link up again, and I really mean this. Like, I definitely will be reaching out to you to try to see what's up with the, you know, some coaching courses, something like that, so I can get some of this knowledge. I'm going to be trying to work with Austin myself, guys, so I can get out here into the game myself and start grabbing some of these properties. So I hope that you all appreciated this value. I hope that y'all appreciate how I'm having heavy hitters like Austin coming on to the podcast, man. I'm trying to bless y'all with the game. I'm trying to give y'all as much as possible, man. So I hope that y'all been enjoying these. But yeah, I think that's about it, man. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. And until next time, guys, we are out. Peace. All right.